to the next level? Or if you're single, how do you take your next relationship to the next level? Well, if you have followed some of the videos, we've talked about standards, behavior, and using good judgment. Now, let's say you have utilized those properly and you are in a good relationship, or you will be someday soon. If you're one who has ever heard yourself say these words, I love hard. I've had women to tell me, Jay, I love hard. And maybe that's the problem. Well, it's really not about how hard you love. It's about how hard is it for you to forgive completely. When we talked about the 3 levels of forgiveness that were described by Dr. Stephen Marmer, psychologist from UCLA, who said the highest level of forgiveness is exoneration, and this is where you wipe the slate clean. And if you're able to do that, your relationship will come back stronger than before the disruption. Now, maybe you used one of the other levels of forgiveness, forbearance, where that's the second level, where you are able to forgive, but there are some conditions and there may be still some trust issues going forward. Or you use the lowest form of forgiveness, which is release. And this one has very little, if anything at all, to do with the other person. It's just a way of you letting go so that you can move on. It's not about how hard you love. It's more about how hard is it for you to apologize. And I don't mean a half-hearted apology that most people give. Do you know what a real apology sounds like, or a half-hearted apology sounds like? Here's an example of a half-hearted apology. I didn't intend to hurt you or to offend you, but if I did, I apologize. Now, to some of you, that might sound pretty good, but that's not taking full responsibility, and it's not making a complete acknowledgement of what your actions or words might have created. A real apology sounds something more like this. I completely understand why you were hurt as a result of my actions or words. I agree they were hurtful regardless of my intentions, and I will not allow it to ever happen again. It is important to not only to be able to forgive, but to be able to apologize, because a healthy relationship, there are still setbacks in a healthy relationship, but the relationship business is the business of forgiveness. When you're single, you learn to move on to the next relationship. But when you're in a loving, nurturing marriage of fulfillment, that is the business of forgiveness. Now, the highest level of forgiveness, exoneration, where the slate gets wiped clean. You don't carry bitterness, because true love cannot be seen within a heart that's filled with bitterness. So if your relationship is stagnated, maybe you should stop down and see, did you guys wipe the slate clean? Now, this third one I want to share with you is probably the most difficult of them all. And it's where people have the ability to take some responsibility when your mate drops the ball. In other words, let me give you an example. A long time ago, Super Bowl 13, I like to make it lightweight because sometimes these subjects can get pretty heavy. It was in the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Hall of Fame tight end Jackie Smith was wide open in the end zone. Roger Staubach was scrambling back to pass. Avoiding would-be tacklers, he throws the pass, hits Jackie Smith in his hands between the numbers. It was in the third quarter, and Jackie Smith dropped the pass in the end zone. Everyone was completely beside themselves. The sidelines, the coaches, even the commentator said, "Oh my goodness, he must be the sickest man in America." But let me give you an example of what class, dignity, teamwork, maturity, manhood, it will be described in the comments from quarterback Roger Staubach, who threw the pass. After the game, he was interviewed, and the question was, what were your thoughts when Jackie Smith dropped that touchdown? Without hesitation, Roger looked into the camera and said, "I believe that it could have been a better thrown pass." At age 12, I thought to myself, that's what it's about. That would have been the perfect opportunity to throw his teammate under the bus and blame his friend and or co-worker or teammate for the loss or for the struggle in that game. But he took responsibility, his responsibility. How willing are you to take some responsibility when there's a miscommunication? How willing are you that if something does not get done or does not get expressed properly, do you ever ask yourself, is there something else I could have done differently or better? It is important that you take or try to take some responsibility even when the mistake doesn't look like it was yours. These things make all the difference in the world. So it's not a matter of how hard you love, but how hard is it for you to take some responsibility for things that set your relationship back. It's not about how hard you love, but how hard is it for you to forgive completely. It's not at all about how hard you love, but how hard is it for you to issue a sincere apology. I hear people talking about how long they've been in their relationships, but it's not a matter of how long you've been together. It's really a matter of how long you have practiced and displayed togetherness. The statements from Roger Staubach about his teammate, Jackie Smith, he reinforced that, hey, we're together in this. Pass or fail, win or lose. When we're doing well, we're together celebrating. And if we come up a little short, we are together in defeat.